I have a video for you guys, and the video is about being in agreement with what you want your future to look like and be like. God is very much into agreement. So this is going to tie into your members, your mind, what you say. You see, our mind can say one thing, our words can say another, and our members can act out a whole nother story. Have you ever said, I'm not going to do that, and then you did it? Have you ever thought one way, did another thing, and spoke another way? You're not in agreement. The Bible talks about double-mindedness, how a person that's double-minded should not expect to get what they want. So in this video, let's try to understand this, unpack it, and then in turn let it reflect on our character and correct ourselves as to what we're doing wrong. So a believer, one that says, I believe you, Jesus, and what he says about us in the Bible, our character, our identity, as well as our actions should reflect what we say we believe. But wherever we are falling short, wherever we are not performing in the area what we say we believe, that's unbelief that is operating in that area. Do you see that? Do you understand what I just said? So we have to be in one accord. We have to be in unison. We have to be one, single-eyed, as the Bible would put it, single-eyed. So when you are singular in what you want, you don't have all of these distractions. You don't have all these things pulling and trying to, all these options, all these choices, all of these strings attached, and everything is pulling on you. Hard to get to where you want to go to and achieve what you want to achieve when you have all of that going on. But when you're singular and when you simplify things and when you have a vision and a focus and concentration and when you aim at the bullseye, then you can practice. It's not that you then get it, but then you can practice hitting the bullseye, right? I related to this. It's funny how this operates and works. I encourage you to try it out. Not just with basketball, but try it out in life. This just worked for me in basketball. So I was playing basketball yesterday with my father-in-law, and I was popping up the ball, and it was bouncing off of the rim, bouncing off of the backboard, and I wasn't making it in. And I played half the game that way. But as my father-in-law, was getting points on me, I started to get frustrated and flustered. I started to analyze, what am I doing wrong? Am I not aiming enough? Am I not, what's going on? So I calmed myself down, and I started to envision the ball going in. Before I ever shot it, I envisioned it going in. My members came in alignment with what my mind was telling my members to do. And then to make things even more proper in unison, I started to speak in that direction as well. And I started to tell my father-in-law what was about to happen, because I was preparing for a comeback. He wasn't understanding what was going on the internal. And this is what God looks at. God looks at the insides of us, our thoughts, our motives, our heart. But on the internal, I was preparing to make a comeback. And I was preparing myself, and what I felt were the ingredients in order to make a comeback. So I started to envision myself making the ball, and I started to envision me coming back. It was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was I started to sharpen up the way that I was moving. And no more shooting out of anxiety, no more shooting out of a place of frustration because I was missing the other shots. I had to reset myself, recalibrate myself, say, okay, shake it off. What didn't work then doesn't mean it's not going to work now. So I had to shake off the losses. So that's when I had to, kind of like align myself with the new vision. And then I started to speak and prophesy and say, Starting right now, I come back and I win this game. And something that is supernatural happens when you envision, and this is in the Bible, my people perish for lack of a vision. It says my people perish for lack of knowledge as well, but there's another verse that says my people perish for lack of a vision. And I've heard all of these videos, just like you have, I'm sure, of people envisioning their future and putting up a dream board and a vision board and showing themselves getting there's something about being prudent, organized, orderly, setting yourself on the course that you want to be on. I'm very much about that. You can't live so very disorganized and expect to find things when you need to find them. You have to set yourself up for success. There's a process of sanctification, if you will, right? You can't be a saint without first dealing with your thoughts. The step one is, what am I thinking about? What am I watching? What am I listening to? Yeah, I want to be closer to God, but start in step one and start to evaluate what you're even thinking about in the first place. Before you could ever get to evangelizing and speaking and ministering to the masses, we have to first start small and master the small stuff, which another point of mine is that the small stuff amasses to much. We're always looking at the much. We're always looking at the much. And because we don't measure up to the much, then we despise small beginnings. And God says don't do that. In the Bible, he says don't despise small beginnings. So, those are my first 2 points. My third point is this: we're always comparing ourselves to other people, and the people that we compare ourselves, look, let's call it what it is. There's the lower class, middle class, and high class. We're always comparing ourselves to the high class, meaning because we don't have the money that other people have, the smarts, the talents, so we compare ourselves to the elite, the people that are superstars. And then we say, well, my life is not as good because they have more than me. And we're always comparing ourselves to people that have things that we don't have and wish that we could have. But you know, as well as I know, because you have a phone in your hand, that there's people out there that don't have a phone. There's people out there that don't have a house. There's people out there that don't have food. There's people out there that don't have water. We never compare ourselves with them. There's places in this world where it's a small town of a population of 30 people, and in those 30 people you would be number one, where everybody would look up to you because of what you have, what you carry, and what you know. In those 30 people, and I'm just putting 30 as a number, just random number, it could be 50, it could be 100, it could be more. But the point is that there's towns out there that you would be the superstar in that town, is what I'm trying to say. Because what you despise, other people treasure. And what you treasure, the person that has it doesn't think much of what they have. You know? So it's a mentality that we need to break. It's not healthy. And nor does it do us any good to think that way. We stump our own toes when we do that. We halt production. We don't flourish. We don't bear good fruit. We don't move forward. We just are. It produces ungratefulness and just more of the stuff that doesn't really apply to godliness. So yeah, let's not do that. Let's not compare ourselves to anybody. God has created you to be a unique person. So what your favorite superstar is doing on television, you have gifts to outshine them in a different way. Only what you carry that is unique hasn't been, exposed to the world. But if you had the influence that that person had, you'd probably be dancing or singing or whatever it may be in your own way, creating trends for other people to follow. So be who God created you to be, and don't try to be like anybody else, is the moral of the story. And ask God to give you your identity. Ask God to tell you who you are and what He fashioned you for. What was your purpose here on earth? Why are you here? Ask God to give you that. And understand that your relationship with God, and asking Him that question, and then your relationship with the Lord will unfold that for you. Meaning you get to actually live it out, and it not just be a concept in your mind. So take the nuggets and the pearls in this video, which have to do with you having a vision, you having a dream, you having understanding that what you were created for is different than what other people were created for. And be okay with that. Accept that. Don't try to fit in where God has told you to stand out. And yeah, let's just end it there, guys. I just think that that's good enough for a video. In Jesus' name, God bless you.